Marcus, Anthony, how's your trades going?
Sean,
What? I don't trade. What's up, Sean? I stack, bro.
Oh, you stack. Okay, good. In the Stackchain legend shirt.
Yes, sir.
What are you stacking?
I'm stacking sets.
Okay, all right. We just making sure. We always gotta ask how the trade's going and what you're stacking.
It's funny though, because when Stackchain first started, there were some people who were kind of like, what is this? What is he doing? I thought he was a Bitcoiner. Some people like send us message like, hey, how do I get Stackchain token? It's like, that's not what this is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that'll pop up on Coinbase in the next week or two.
I know, right?
Stackchain token.
I'll just randomly
hit
get like
us up.
congratulations from Rudy or something.
Let's just jump right in. Like, hit us up with like the short version. What is Stackchain? When did it start? Who started it? How many people are involved? What's going on there?
Stackchain is plebs on Twitter consecutively stacking by $1 increments in a Twitter thread that is now about 1,944 replies long. It started off with Arizona and HODL. And just you see the posts all the time, like do a little stack with me.
Yes.
He posted a screenshot of $5. Somebody posted 6, somebody posted 7. And now 2 months later, the stack height almost at stack height 2000. Like I said, somewhere around 1948. About 400 to 500 plebs have consecutively stacked approximately 2 million cut bucks into Stackchain.
Wow.
For around 100 Bitcoin, all pulled off exchanges in a 2-month-long shit posting spree. Really.
Let's go.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely what caught my attention, because you guys are making some noise over there, and there's like a lot of memes involved as well. So what's going on there?
Yeah, it's too much fun. And Stackchain's interesting. It's like a whole like another level. You know how like when you're in Bitcoin Twitter,
Yes.
you kind of like don't see the rest of Twitter.
Yeah.
When you're in Stackchain, you don't see Bitcoin Twitter. You don't see anything else. Your notifications are blowing up. Your DMs are blowing up because you got people like asking you questions. It's chaos. And people fighting over things and just having fun, throwing memes. The memes are premium. Stackchain has premium memes, man. There's a couple memers in Stackchain that are like memeing in real time. Like as the things are going, they're just changing the memes to keep up with what's going on. It's fun.
Memes definitely evolve. We've Marcus and I have definitely seen that over the years. So it seems like the Stackchain is the GOAT of this cycle's bear market. Stackchain, that might be the GOAT so far.
I feel it changed everything, man. Because like participating in Stackchain, you completely ignore. Like we're not in a bear market in Stackchain.
Yeah.
Stackchain's the NGU.
That
every day number goes up.
Yeah, all-time high. Just like
Yeah.
Bitcoin, just like Bitcoin's the block height, right?
Right. And like you can't lose in Stackchain, because at the end of the day, if you have more sets than you had yesterday, that's a success.
Winning.
There's people wake up, we don't even like look at the cut buck value of Bitcoin at all. It's like, what's the stack height? What happened? How many blocks were stacked while I was sleeping? It's funny. And in all of our spaces, there's no like TA talk or what the interest rate, what the Fed did. None of that. It's like it doesn't exist. It's beautiful. I equate Stackchain to like it like kind of gave birth to itself from the desire of Bitcoiners to stack sats and not really want to do anything else. There just like wasn't a place to do that. That is Stackchain. So it's very cool. It's nice to like you stack sats, and that's cool, but it's also cool to like celebrate other people stacking sats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time there's a new stack, you get like 10 replies like, oh, that's great, nice stack validated, that sort of thing. And there's kind of rules like
what I was gonna say, what are the rules? You just said there's a stack validated. So what's like a stack that's invalidated versus a stack that is validated?
Okay, so
You can also like coin join stacks, or right? You can like
yeah, stack join. So
Stack join.
stack join.
it-
That's
so
it.
it started off
We
as-
gotta catch up on all the lingo.
Dude, there's a whole vocabulary, man.
Yeah.
So Stackchain is a culture. It's definitely turned into a culture. So Arizona Huddle, his stack was 5. Then the next person did 6. Then the next person did 7.
We're talking
Each-
cut bucks right now, dollars.
We're talking cut bucks.
Yes.
Each stack is a direct reply to the previous stack.
The tip.
Therefore, it is a chain of stacks,
Yes.
stack chain. Okay. So at first, it was just kind of chaos because everybody's got $5, everybody's got $10. So they're just throwing them down. Eventually, what happened is 2 people stacked the same stack at the same time.
Yes.
Which one's the valid stack? Which
one-
one's the proper chain?
The one that the nodes
no-
validate.
There's no proof of work.
the
How's that
longest.
work?
The
The
longest.
stack, the stack is the proof of work.
How
does it work in Bitcoin? Longest chain decides.
Yes.
So like all these kind of rules, basically we just use our understanding of Bitcoin to guide Stackchain. The only difference is there's no code in Stackchain. It's social consensus. It's just what everybody kind of agrees on. So, and like I said, it's keep going. Now we're in the 1900 stack height. So then you asked about the stack join. Well, what if I don't have, $1,949 to solo mine the next stack? Does that mean I can't participate in Stackchain? No, that's what stack joins are for. So you do the same thing. You go find the tip, and then let's say you got $10. You smash by your $10, you post your receipt, and you use the hashtag stack join. And
Okay.
then your stack join will be put together with other people's. And then when there's enough, they're put together to stack the next stack.
So what happens like if so what's the stack height at again right now, you said?
I think the last time I looked, it was 19.
Just under 2000.
No, I think it's in the 70s actually. I think it's like 1978.
Okay, so the stack height 1978, 7 years after 1971. And
Yeah, they
uh
got 1971 last night.
ooh,
And that was an exciting thing.
yeah, oh yeah. So
'Cause,
I just have a question. What happens if like everyone's stack joining, right? And then you get like $5 over, like the next stack would be 1979. So what happens if you stack like 1985? How do you come to a conclusion with that?
So if it's a solo stack, like let's say we're at 1978 and somebody posts 1985, well, you did it wrong.
Yes,
'Cause
yeah.
The next one is 1979. So,
Yeah.
so your stack just kind of goes into the mempool,
Oh,
and then maybe it'll be put on 1785. It kind of depends. Or if I put in $100 and you put in $50, these stack joins can be collected over a period of days. Sometimes a whole bunch come in. Sometimes it takes a few days, but they all just go into a mempool. And when there's enough to stack a stack, it gets put together and posted to the tip.
so I have a confession to make, right? Especially
sir.
like to the people who are listening, because like my Twitter timeline was blowing up with Stackchain, and being the grumpy bear that I was.
What'd you do, Marcus?
I got kind of annoyed, to be honest. I was like, wait a minute, I bet you there's a bunch of people here just like stacking, or they're just posting a screenshot or whatever, or they just like sold a bunch of Bitcoin and then buy it back to be able to get like a screenshot that they wanted. So how do you validate that stuff? And I was just like, all right, I'm getting tired of this stuff. Doesn't make sense to me. But I completely overlooked like the whole social aspect of this.
Yeah, oh, man.
And I think the cool part is that, even though people can do that, I mean, I think you guys are just like showing, hey, here's a bunch of Bitcoiners. Like we're just stacking. We're the hodlers of last resort. We don't care what the price does. And here we are together, and you can join the stack chain. So yeah, I kind of felt bad after posting that. I did tweet it out. I didn't delete it or anything, but just watching you guys having fun over there, I'm like, I was the idiot over
Marcus
there.
is a bear. Marcus is always a bear, Anthony. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
He's a Stackchain. You know what? We can be super annoying.
Hey,
Like-
all the stack chainers out there, don't worry about Marcus being a bear right now.
We
He's
No, and
bullish
by the
now.
way, I remember on that comment, I remember some people commented on it. It's like, yeah, you know, it's these Bitcoiners that have been around for a long time. They just don't get it. You know, we're all here like younger Bitcoiners stacking. Is that a thing? Or I mean, not everybody is like class of 21 or 20, right?
I would say probably at least half of Stackchainers are 20, 21, newer Stackchainers.
What class are you?
I guess I would say I was 19.
Oh, so was I. Nice.
Yeah. So, you know, just kind of going through my first full cycle and a half, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
So, oh, well, not a half, but not new like these guys. A lot of these guys are like 20, 21. Some of them are 22.
Dang.
So, you know, and people stacking in the stack chain are like participating in Bitcoin culture during the bearest of the bear market,
Yes.
and not
Right.
caring at all. So these are not tourists. These are legit Bitcoiners.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, right? Like at the end of the day, everyone's just all they're doing in the stack chain is they're stacking sats in the best time to do it after the blow up top during an extended bear market. Like that is the best time to stack sats. So if you're gonna have, you know, a whole culture around it, you know, more power to you. I remember I saw like I can't remember who it was. I think it was Brad Mills came out and was hating on the stack chain. I was like, why? What is the reason to actively hate? Like if you don't understand it, that's one thing. Hey, that's just not your thing. You don't have to opt into the stack chain. But if people are having a good time stacking sats, what does it matter as long as they're stacking sats?
And the thing with Brad Mills, one of the stack chainers reached out to him because one of the other things that happens in stack chain is we do flash stacks for charitable causes. Mm-hmm. So for example, we've donated 28 million sats to Bitcoin Beach. We donated sats to Bitcoin Lake.
Awesome.
Bitcoin Akazi. We did flash stacks for Huddle or Not.
Yep.
Big deal on that one. And then we kind of caught Bitcoin Island right in the beginning just by serendipity. And that was a lot of fun. So we did a flash stack for Bitcoin Island. And like
Bitcoin what?
Bitcoin Island? Have you heard about Bitcoin Island?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
What am I late to this or what?
No, it's still new. It's still new.
Is that Dread who's doing that?
Is it who?
Dread?
Dread? No, I don't think so. This is an island in the Philippines.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a wallet producer out there, Pouch, I believe is the name of the wallet. It's like Strike, but it's for Filipino pesos.
Have they been going around to all these different business? I haven't seen this on Twitter that they're like new vendor. Like every day there's been something new. So that's Bitcoin Island.
So their account was, I don't know, 30 or 40 days old, and they just kind of stumbled into Stackchain, being like new to Twitter and new to like doing the thing. So we hit them up in a chat. We're like, hey, what are you guys about? Is it Bitcoin? It's just Bitcoin, right?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Got to make sure it's Bitcoin only.
Exactly. So they explained the whole thing, and then he started talking about the different people that are involved, and then because we have a lot of people, so we can like send the stack chainers out, like go check up on this. Is this legit? And it turned out to be a legit thing.
Wow.
And they're basically just trying to do like Bitcoin Beach did, but it's all on the emphasis of this Pouch wallet, which you can send Bitcoin via Lightning. It just works just like Strike, and it'll convert back and forth between pesos and Bitcoin.
Okay.
So for the people on the island, it's real easy to use.
Yeah.
Because it works both in their currency, but they can also send and receive Bitcoin. And then
is there government? Have you heard anything about like the Filipino government? Are they like trying to come down against them, or?
It's this little island though. So it's not like all of the Philippines.
It's just an island in the
It's
Philippines.
one island in the Philippines.
They probably don't even know what's going on.
No. And you see this place, absolutely beautiful. And then what they did is they got a guy in the ground. His name is Bill. And because like the Filipino perspective of crypto is that it's a scam because they've been like scammed.
Yes.
Like they've been scammed.
That's like a lot
So-
of the Latin American, same thing.
Right. So they decided that they weren't going to do this without a physical location. So they raised money.
Well,
And there's
crypto is a scam. Hold on,
That's right. But people who don't know think Bitcoin is crypto.
yes, yeah.
So if you walk around trying to sell Bitcoin, they think you're selling
It's
crypto.
Yeah, yes.
So they bought a physical location. So there's actually a Bitcoin office on the island so that if people have problems, they can physically walk over there and talk to somebody and get support.
Oh, that's awesome.
And also to give the reassurance that this is not some crypto token nonsense.
So is there a name to this island, or is it like a really hard name to pronounce?
It escapes for me. The Twitter account is Bitcoin Island PH.
Okay.
And I think it's like I'm gonna say it, like Bocaray or Book. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It probably has some Spanish name because the Spaniards, they ruled the Philippines for a while and they just came through and named everything. Like everyone's like Spanish last names out there too. Kinda crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Little history lesson there from Big Sean.
Is that Bitcoin related? It is now.
Hey, I got a little knowledge in some other things too. I've lived in Spain the last 2 years, so I know a little bit. I know a little bit about a lot. That's
So do you guys have like what is it going on? Is everything going on Twitter? You guys have like a Telegram group
Yeah, we do have a Telegram.
Can anybody
group.
just join the tip and join in Twitter, or is there like some secret other place where
So
all
the
the
Stackchain
discussions are
lives
going
on
on?
Twitter because it started off as a single "Come Stack with Me" post, and it's just been built off of that post. Arizona Huddle even deleted his account.
yeah.
So, but the thread is still there. So if you want to find Stackchain, some of the Stackchainers set up an account. Stackchain.
Why did he
Signal.
delete his account?
When?
A couple
Why?
weeks ago now.
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago they deleted his account. You
Yeah.
remember that, Marcus?
Why? Why
why?
did he delete it?
Upset.
Yeah.
Probably Stackchain. He was getting a little bit more attention than he wanted because people would ask him for interviews and just be like, "Hey, we heard you started Stackchain." He's like, "I just did one tweet." He's like, I like it. I think it's very cool, but I'm not like really involved.
So he's like the creator of Dogecoin.
Well,
Just created the code and
Like-
tipped.
he's Stackchain
Like Satoshi, man.
No, but
Right.
Satoshi stuck around for a little bit longer. Satoshi was there.
Well, time moves fast in Stackchain. It's only been like 2 months, but it feels like it's been 20 years. So
Right.
like if you use that time scale, he was around for a good 5 years.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't talk to him personally, but I could see like every time people were asking him about it, he would just be like, "Well, yeah, it's cool. I like it, but it was kind of
Yeah.
like."
He had an interview with some I don't know what, like a CoinDesk or something. I don't remember who he had an interview with about Stackchain that I saw.
Yeah.
So okay, here's another question I have. Do you know who is Vikingo? Is he in the Stackchain at all?
He stacked 757.
Dang. Okay, so
Yeah.
like
Block height.
goodness. Wow. Like people have their names on certain stacks.
Oh yeah. I'm stack 16.
Dang.
There's one character in Stackchain. We just call him 7.
7.
Like, we don't call him anything else because he's the guy who stacked 7.
Okay.
Okay, so wait, so are you only doing one stack, or can you do multiple
You
blocks?
can do as many as you can do, man.
But you're an OG because you're stack 16.
Right. So I can proudly put that in my handle and just be
Yeah.
like, I was in Stackchain before it was cool, even though it was always cool.
Okay, well here's the question I have. And I mean, I don't
Like
know.
the Max Kaiser of Stackchain right here.
Yeah, you were telling everyone to start stacking in the stack chain at a young age.
Right.
when it was $17 to stack in the stack chain.
Exactly.
Uh,
Now
so
it's a whole paycheck pretty much.
yeah, maybe two. So I was thinking about Vikingo, right? Because back in the day, he would always just post, "Hey, anyone want to do a little stack with me?"
Yeah.
And I started calling him little stacks because he would always say, "Anyone want to do a little stack with me?" And he would just keep saying that, and he would post a stack of $25 or $50, and he would do that all the time. So my question is Vikingo upset that
Okay.
he
So I
was
got the
doing
story.
the stacks? No
I got the
one
story.
stacked on, no one started a stack chain after him. Arizona Hodl does it one time, and then all of a sudden everyone just, oh, here's the stack chain after Arizona Hodl, but Vikingo doesn't get any credit for that.
Okay, so I'm not
What's
gonna
thought?
lie. I'm not gonna lie. He came into our spaces one time
Yeah.
and he was like, "This is cool. I like what you guys are doing." But then he explained everything that you just explained,
Yes.
and he sounded very hurt
Yeah.
for all of the reasons you just said. And then we talked to him a while, and he's like, he kind of resigned himself. He asked what the stack height was, how to participate, and then he bought 757. He still pops into his faces sometimes. That
Okay.
kid was cool, man.
Yeah, he's cool, dude. I know. I just think about that all the time. Like, man, he was doing this. He'd been doing that for at least a year before Arizona Hodl did it. Arizona Hodl did it, and then everyone just jumped on. So
Somebody, the last time he came into the spaces, I think it was 7 actually, called him the Adam Back of Stackchain.
yeah, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
He created it before. He created a very important part before it happened, but he didn't create the actual stack chain. But you know, you got to give credit where credit's due. I like that.
Absolutely.
All I can
Absolutely.
think of is like, you know, when I first came into Bitcoin, it was also like on Twitter, you know, you get to know all these different characters. You know, you're still trying to figure out who's connected to what are their little, you know, like what are their peculiarities, if that's even a English word, you know, it's like, you know, when you just come into Twitter, it's like, okay, all these different characters, one louder than the other, some more quiet, some more serious, some are just like outright crazy. It's like you try to figure it all out. But one thing in common is like everybody is just like, you know, we don't care about how deep Bitcoin goes. We actually want it to go lower so we can stack cheaper, you know,
Yeah.
and Bitcoin will never go to zero because I'm going to buy all the Bitcoins, you know, it's
Right.
like that
Yeah.
to me, that was such a powerful signal. It's like, yeah, Bitcoin really can't go to zero as long as there's enough people, these hodlers that are just like waiting to gobble every last, you know, they'll always
Yeah.
find a bottom and go back up, you know. And I think for like new plebs coming in now, you know, when they see this going on, I think this is just, yeah, a very telling
So
part of
I can tell you,
this time around, you know.
I can tell you that
Yeah, tell me.
when the cut buck value of Bitcoin drops, the stack height hash rate increases rapidly. We'll get 2 to 3
Right.
times the number of blocks in one day when there's a dip.
So so what you're saying is the pleb set
That's
the floor,
interesting.
but the stack chainers, what are if the pleb set the floor, what are the stack chainers doing? They're reinforcing the foundation.
Somebody printed it. You know that old Bitcoin meme where the guy's walking the tightrope and it's Bitcoin, like one side is something awful like the Fed, the other side is something equally awful, and then there's Bitcoin in the middle walking the tightrope.
Mhm.
They changed that meme and they added a net to the bottom and called it stack chain. So I'm not sure, but we talk about like we're disappointed that we haven't gotten to have a 17K party, stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah, like number go down is not a problem for us because that means stack height goes up. More sats in our wallet, right? More sats in cold storage.
So what is like the hash rate, as you call it right now? Like how fast is like the chain growing on average? It's slowing down. And can you imagine like in the beginning it goes really fast. As the number goes up, you know, it's harder to stack for plebs. So
the difficulty adjustment, right?
You know, you got network effects, right? You got
difficulty adjustment. It's a difficulty adjustment.
When the stack
Is
height
there a
goes
difficulty
up,
adjustment?
difficulty adjustment.
There's a difficulty adjustment on every stack.
Yep.
Every stack, there's a new difficulty adjustment. That's pretty insane to think about.
It requires more proof of work. I mean, we've delved so deep into stack chain vocabulary. Like I mean, Stackchain, it even like mirrors the history of Bitcoin. Like it was super chaotic.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple numbers where there was like a lot of contention. There were huge like chain splits. People tried to create shit forks. You know, there was a fork war. There was like a 50 stack fork war where two sets of stack chainers wanted to be the longest chain.
Oh, good.
When that fork war was over, plebs had dropped like 100,000 cut bucks just trying to be the longest chain.
I heard Tao came in there on like $1,000 and just stacked his way. Like everyone was stacking against him, and he just solo stacked, and just made his longest chain win. Is that true?
If Tao is ever
Sounds like a 51% attack to me.
or anything, ask him about the battle of 888.
Was that when he came in? Is that when
that was his first like prize stack that he really cared about? He pointed a lot of hash rate at it to make sure he got his number. And you'll see in his handle it says 888.
Okay. Yes. All right. Tao. Yeah.
But what happened? So he lost out. He tried to fork the network.
No, he got that one. But there was a battle. Somebody tried to fork him, and the fork is simple, right? Let's say the current stack height is 20. Okay.
Yeah. So if somebody else would want 888, right?
What's that?
So if somebody else wanted 888 and also posted it, then it's like, okay, who gets to get 888? If Tao posted a stack on 888 and I did the same thing, then I need somebody else to post under my stack, right? To get the longest chain.
If you wanted 888, essentially you would have to get a chain long enough up to the current stack. You'd have to stack 888, 889, right, 890, all the way up till 1978. And then some. Like that would be an insane amount of fiat. That's something like Sailor could do that. Sailor could come in here and just
wreck
everybody.
So we all talk about that. We're all wondering what's gonna happen when one of these like big guys comes in, they get enchanted by the siren song of Stackchain.
Yeah.
And then they just come in with like $10 million. And most people agree that if they are antagonistic to the Stackchain network, we'll just fork them.
You can fork them. Yeah, you can fork them. He can have change the code. You can't change the code. Well, exactly. You can change it for yourself, but that doesn't mean everyone else is going to hop onto it.
Exactly.
Man, this Stackchain, this is actually a lot of fun for me because like the more that we're diving into it, you know, when you first start studying Bitcoin and your mind is getting blown like every second.
Yeah.
I'm getting that again. It's like
you get that.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun when you get that definitely. Your mind gets blown. You're like, oh yeah, it has this and it has that.
Because it's
is there a halving in Stackchain?
Ooh.
No, I don't think so. I suspect the halving would be something similar to if the difficulty adjustment went way up, because the difficulty adjustment is a combination of the stack height.
Yep.
And the amount of hash power required to stack. The hash power is the number of cut bucks that you drop into the black hole of nothingness for sats, which matter. So if the price of Bitcoin pumps, then that's like if it doubles, then that's probably something like the halving, because now it's more difficult to stack sats. I'm not exactly sure. Nobody's ever asked that question before.
You should actually, you just an idea. I'm just going wild here as well. I mean, imagine you say, okay, as soon as like the halving the Bitcoin network occurs, then the Stackchain is also going to do sort of like its own halving, which means that instead of doing like whatever the block is, let's say the block is 5,000 at that point, right? Or just whatever, it might be way higher. I don't know. Then instead of posting 5,000, you have to post 2 stacks of 5,000.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We'll have to present that to Stackchainers and see what they say.
Yeah, don't.
So there's no code in Stackchain, so it's all social consensus. It's what everybody agrees.
Is there some improvement protocol?
some
improvement proposal.
Oh, we have a GitHub. And the improvement proposals are called SIPs. Stackchain improvement proposals.
Okay, all right. So they're called SIPs. Add an M in there if for September, so it'll be Simps.
Nice. SIP 008.
Yeah,
I like
stack chain improvement mission for I don't know, whatever.
Nice.
And
I'm
you
actually,
guys, you guys do spaces as well. What's going on there? Is it like all stack chain, or are you guys just discussing like Bitcoin and whatever happening in the news? Or?
it is predominantly stacked. So I do a spaces every day, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. PST. And then I'll do one on Saturday and Sunday too, but that'll be like in the middle of the day, like 11 or noon or whatever.
Mhm.
And we discuss the tip, whatever battles have happened, whatever numbers are coming, because there's always an interesting number. Like we're in the 1900s.
Yeah.
We just stacked 1971. There's a lot to talk about with that.
Yes.
And we'll
Right.
talk like stack chain philosophy, and then it will.
What happened in 1971? Why is that an
Exactly.
interesting number?
I can tell you what happened in 1971. So it was hotly, it was very, what's word? We were looking forward to it. It's like, all right, stack 1971. We were somewhere in like 1960 or something.
Yeah.
The hash rate was slow, not a lot of stacks coming in. I start the spaces, and then one of our stack chainers just starts dropping blocks immediately. And all of a sudden, in like 5 minutes, we're all the way up to 1970. So here we are in the spaces. We're like, oh shit, 1970. Who's gonna get 1971? So one of the guys is in the spaces. He's trying to put it together. He's like, I'm gonna get it. He wants to get some pictures of like, what the fuck happened in 1971 and different things. He wants to build like a memorial block.
Is he trying to solo mine it, or is he trying to stack join?
Yeah, he wants to solo mine it. So he's like, I'm gonna get this block. So he's doing all that. Then he posts it, and he didn't quite put it in the right place, not how he wanted to do it. So he's like, okay. Let me redo that and get it right. While he's redoing that and getting it right, somebody in Australia posts 1971. So now we have a fork at 1971. The last time we had a fork at a contentious number, it lasted a week. It was like a 50 stack chain split.
Goodness.
And it got so complicated, like people were actually getting like pissed off about it and getting upset.
Because you couldn't figure out like where the true chain was.
Well, nobody wanted to give up. Neither side wanted to give up. Their chain was the right one. The other one was a shit chain. I'm not backing down. And
so what how do they get to they just run out of fiat, and then, or what happens?
I think that's what, it just kept going on. And I think they started talking it out, and somebody just conceded. And so then in that case, what we do is the shorter fork, we still bring that in. We add it on. So because everybody can participate in stack chain. Like we're not like, oh, you did it wrong, you don't get to participate. So if your stack gets orphaned.
Wait.
Yeah, you will.
Wait, I don't get that. I don't get that, because you have a 50 block.
What's that?
A 50 block. I think my connection is shitty again. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you say so there's like a fork split, right? 50 block fork split, but then you say, okay, it was talked out, and we still add them on. How do you add them on? Because you've got double stacks on each number now.
So adding 50 fork stacks is difficult. So we had to.
Are they joins?
We had to contribute the difference. There was like a whole treaty. So it's referred to as like the Battle of 1666, because that's where it started.
Oh wow!
It didn't end until well into the 1700s, and it required like olive branches and like people like conceding. Somebody like burned some of their stacks to make the math right, and so then all the stacks that were on the orphaned fork, we just took those, added whatever was necessary in a stack join, and just stack joined them all to the longest chain.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
It started at 1666. That's where it started at, huh?
That's where it started at. Yeah. And it all started because somebody didn't like the way that somebody stacked. they stacked like a Renaissance picture from the 1600s. And the person that forked them was like, no, that's a dumb picture. I don't like that. So they also stacked 1666. And then the other guy was like, I like that one.
Did they stack a picture with it or anything?
It's on the stack chain. So here's the interesting thing about the stack chain. Let's say the current stack height is 1970.
Yeah.
Everything I just described to you is proof of work. Stacking a stack is proof of work. You have to find the tip. You got to buy the Bitcoin. You got to post the stack. It's got to get validated. That's all proof of work.
Yeah.
But once the proof of work is done, every stack is connected to the previous stack in the direct replies. So you can go to 1970 and just scroll up and you'll see 1969, 1968, all the way back.
Dang.
It's very clean. There are some breaks where mistakes were made and somewhere, and then it also kind of deleted on like
banned.
Twitter. Yeah, but it's very cool. You can just scroll back and just see all the stats like neatly, one after the other.
Are you guys making backups of this? Or?
Yeah, there's people making backups. Yeah,
cool.
Because I mean we've already had people who were banned, who got suspended because you know we're Bitcoiners and this is Twitter.
Right. we have to fight shitcoiners in the same time as well. Sean, did you make
my account actually got suspended or something? Like Twitter we see weird activity, we're shutting you down, wouldn't let me verify. So for like a whole month, I couldn't use my account. I had to go use an alt that I just happened to have.
Oh wow.
And then magically got my account back. But
well, that's good.
So,
Sean, have you added to the stack chain yet?
No, I'm waiting for one Bitcoin. So wake me up in the stack chain when I can stack one Bitcoin.
So like stack height, like 19, 20,000.
Yes. And then
it's going to be a while.
And then I know that someone's going to try to stack it, try to fork my stack. So I'm going to come in with the stack after that. And then someone's going to try to fork that. I'm coming in with 3 Bitcoin hot, ready for the stack chain.
Nice. Yeah, you're already figuring out there's a strategy to it. And there is.
Just playing. If I had that much fiat, I wouldn't be waiting until that's 20,000.
Yeah.
I haven't participated. Part of the reason I haven't participated is it's a little overwhelming trying to figure out where the tip is, you know, and then trying to see if I did it right, you know. I don't know. There's just like
so if
we need a stack explorer.
If you search the hashtag Stackchain tip, hashtag Stackchain tip, you click on the latest tab because you want to see the latest Stackchain tip. That'll get you in the vicinity. It won't be perfect, but that'll get you in the vicinity.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
And then you can just post. You can say, hey, where's the tip? And half the people will tell you, stop being lazy, go find the tip. And then the other half will tell you where the tip is.
And if you post what, so let's say we want to like do a stack chain right now. So we look for the tip, right? You comment under that last tweet with a screenshot of your buy and any hashtags involved, or is there like some kind of?
Not when you're posting so let's say it's 1970 and you want to stack 1971. So you would go to stack 1970. In the direct replies of 1970, you would put your screenshot, your receipt of your purchase, and then you would just put stack 1971. And then if you did it right, the nodes in the network will validate your stack. If you did it wrong, people will make fun of you and then tell you what you got to do it right.
So what could you do wrong?
People miss the tip all the time.
What are common mistakes? Like
missing the tip. The tip is hard to find. Yeah. Or they stacked the tip, but then it was like 5 blocks ago and it wasn't the actual tip. Or there's a lot of memes in Stackchain. So like if somebody stacked 1970, then you have a bunch of Stackchainers that will they'll meme you. It's kind of like a reward, like good job, and then there'll be your face like doing battle with the bear or something like that. So some people will stack on one of the memes instead of stacking on the stack.
Right.
We should have the meme factory do like a meme factory.
That would be amazing. Absolutely. Yeah. That would be great. You're welcome. I mean, just find the tip, jump in. When a lot of people ask, a lot of people come into Stackchain, they feel like they have to stack. You don't have to stack. You just come hang out. So you just look at the hashtag, find the tip,
Start
shit
memeing.
post with us.
Yeah.
After a couple hours, you'll figure it out, because you'll see like other people do some stacks. You'll be, oh, I see what's going on here. And
that's why it's too bad we don't have Chewy on right now, because Chewy actually added my meme in his stack, the hodlers of last resort, the Mongolian guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
remember that meme, Sean? No, right?
Yeah. The one with that's the one that Gigi had sent out first, right?
No, that's another one. That was also the Mongolian. I made fun of Plan B in that one.
Yes.
But this was a band called The Who.
Oh yes, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Cool.
But we got Anthony up in here, so
how about you, Anthony? Do you memes as well? Do you make memes or?
I've made a few. I've made a few Stackchain memes related to like finding the tip or making the tip. We got a few good stories. There's one Spaces where I don't know if you know Peter, but he was yelling at Tao. He was yelling at Tao to make a steak. So while we're on the Spaces, Tao hopped in his car, drove to Costco, bought steaks, went home and cooked them, all while everybody was telling him how to do it. And then he posted a picture on the tip.
Was that the first time you cooked a steak or something, or what?
I have no idea. They came in, like, I was just doing a normal Spaces about Stackchain, and they were just like, oh, we're teaching Tao how to, I guess they were doing it in some other Spaces, and then they left that space to come into the Stackchain space, but they wanted to continue on. It was hilarious. So I got a is this the tip meme with a picture of Tao's steak. I got some, but I mean, I'm nothing compared to some of the meme lords we got in Stackchain. It's the same. Like I'm telling you, some of these guys are like memeing in real time. Like you'll just watch the stacks go by, and it'll just be like boom, 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 like 5 memes all in a row.
Let's go.
All about like the person that just stacked the stack.
Who's the best? Who's your favorite memer right now on the Stackchain?
Oh, that's hard, man. We got that's hard. So many good memers.
You can name a couple of them.
Top three.
There's a ODB, Stackchain Buddha.
Yeah.
When Ravenstein was in, that Ravenstein's off the hook with his.
Dude, he's so good.
Oh, he's legendary, man.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
He's not in the Stackchain anymore.
What's that?
He doesn't hang around.
No, I think he went dark. He'd taken a break or something. Maybe he didn't go dark, but I think he decided to take a break from Twitter for a while. You know how it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gets intense. I think all of us have yelled a couple of times, like I'm taking a break, and then we make a joke. See you in 24 hours.
Yeah. Labra's taking a break for a while now. I'm getting nervous. We might not see him anymore.
Stackchain is like a whole nother level. Like the amount of energy is insane. Like all we're doing is like shit posting on Twitter and posting pictures of the Bitcoin that we bought. Right? Sounds simple. It's exhausting because you're paying attention to it. You're getting involved with all the things. And then, I'm doing more than most, right? I'm also doing Spaces and organizing, donation campaigns and stuff like this. So I'm doing a little bit more, but like with all that energy, all that Bitcoiner energy, because we care about Bitcoin. We care about Bitcoin. We care about stacking sats. We found a place where we can do that like in excellence, surrounded by our peers, with everybody who understands us, as opposed to the outside world. When you mention Bitcoin, it's like, oh, it dropped, blah, 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 bad for the environment, retarded, dumb shit, right? Well, here we are. We're like with our people. Yeah. Doing our thing that we do. Yeah. And sharing that. And so
that's fun, man.
All that Bitcoin energy is just like right there. So you can feel it. It's cool.
I know when I tell people that I'm in something called the meme factory, they're like, what are you even talking about? I'm like, yeah, I like Bitcoin, and I hang out with on the meme factory. And they're like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. But with
Yeah.
Bitcoiners, it makes sense, you know.
What was your Bitcoin Twitter journey like before Stackchain? Where were you hanging out? What kind of podcasts were you listening to, or who you were hanging out with? I just imagine, you know, like we're trying to be like the show for like new people that come into Bitcoin. So it's, you know, it could be interesting for people to hear like, okay, you know, so many people like you, Sean, you say all the time too, nobody helped you out. You know, you did all the research yourself. You know, you didn't have, like, I had a friend of mine who talked me into Bitcoin, you know, whatever. But I'm curious about your story. Like, how did that go?
Sure.
If you don't mind.
No, not at all. Not at all. I bet you it's fairly average, but you know, it's sometime around 2019, I'm just listening to Joe Rogan and he's shilling the Cash App. He had a whole Cash App ad campaign, and then part of the ad campaign was you can also buy Bitcoin. And I was like, oh, I heard of Bitcoin. That's cool. Maybe I'll do that. So download the Cash App, bought $50 of Bitcoin, and then just watched it like increase in value, decrease in value. What is this, right? So then I started like doing research. At that time, I wasn't even on Twitter. I was on Facebook. God help me. God help me. Okay. So
better than Reddit, at least.
So you know, I'm trying to learn about, like, you know, crypto and all that kind of stuff. And that didn't go well. You know, made a Coinbase account, all this nonsense, right? But then the signal starts to come through. And honestly, I think it was Guy Swan in Bitcoin Audible. I caught a couple episodes. Back then, his show was called Crypto Economy, but it was a Bitcoin only show.
Yeah, or his handle was Crypto Economy, but I think he still called it Bitcoin Audible, didn't he?
Pretty sure,
It changed because it was in that weird period of Bitcoin history where we were obviously separated from crypto.
Yeah.
But we hadn't quite been like, no, we're not a part of this at all. You know, because Bitcoin has changed over time. Like even new shitcoin, like old shitcoins used to be more like Bitcoin. They were proof of work.
Yeah.
They were forks. Now, not even close at all. Proof of stake, centralized database, like not even close. So, but yeah, I started listening to Guy Swan, and I got hooked. And
so much signal on Bitcoin Audible, dude. Yeah, I've listened to countless hours of Bitcoin Audible and learned a ton.
And so I started stacking, and I guess I was born in the bear market, right? 2019, that was after the dip from the all-time high. So it had already been 19 something, and now it was like below 10K. And these were my first stacks, but I wasn't nearly as convicted. So I didn't stack nearly what I'm stacking now. I wish I had, obviously. But I went through that whole journey where I had shit coins because I didn't know better. And then as I learned, I start dropping them, but then you hold on to some because you feel like, oh, well, I know it's only about Bitcoin, but maybe the next time there's a Bitcoin pump, these will go up too. I'm gonna hang on to it like a lottery ticket. So I had to go through that phase, and then eventually I just got rid of them all, and now I'm clean and pure. I feel so much better about myself.
Oh yeah.
Run my own nose. All these things.
You've been washed by the by the sats.
Yeah, it's definitely a journey. And you know, the funny thing is, like, the more people you talk to, ultimately most people end up there, right? And nobody went. I mean, there are people who do say, you know, like, I never bought a shitcoin. I think that's pretty.
That is impressive.
But they are there.
Yeah.
But
because I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. Like,
you don't know.
And there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
In Bitcoin, and you know, people don't necessarily apply themselves, but applying yourself into the knowledge of Bitcoin is completely worth it. It's so deep, it's so fundamental, and just having the ability to understand what money is, how it works, what the power of the Bitcoin network is, how it represents freedom for all 6 billion people on the planet, how it allows us to save our time and labor in something that can't be stolen, how Bitcoin is an honest system and the current money is a dishonest system. You know, and boom, 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 boom. And
Boom.
you get passionate. It turns regular people into
Signal.
Bitcoin. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Dude, dropping it right there.
Yes. Okay, well, hey, we want to give you some time to get to that Stackchain Spaces. I know it's starting up in a few.
Don't tell me an hour went by already.
What?
Don't tell me an hour went by already.
Yeah, I know. It was fast. It was fast.
Hey, this turned out to be a great conversation, man.
Yes.
And before
Yes.
Sean starts like closing it down, you know, and does his little rap. Dude, thank you so much. And a special shout out to Chewy, who you know, who's a big part of Stackchain and been around on Bitcoin Twitter.
Screw Chewy. He didn't come on.
Rug pull.
Sit down.
Rug pull Chewy.
Yeah. No, I'm playing.
No, dude, I love what you guys are doing, and thanks for coming on here and telling us all about it. All I know is I need to get my Stackchain tip for in there, so I'm gonna look out.
Please.
I'm gonna drop it on you guys at some point.
Come and stack with us. Everyone is welcome, and thank you guys for having me on. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you guys. So
do you want to drop a handoff where people can reach you or the Stackchain or make any donations?
I'm Anthony Dessauer on Twitter at Anthony Dessauer, which is probably practically impossible to remember.
I'll edit in the
Stackchain account is at Stackchain Signal. Stackchain Signal is pretty good. It'll retweet the tip. It'll help you out with stack joins. There's little guides like how do you find the tip, how do you stack, what's a stack join, and we're kind of making that our central repository. And then we're
Stackchain Signal. All right, cool.
Yeah, Stackchain Signal. I think the @ is at Stackchain Sig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll DM you guys.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm just gonna close out real quick. First of all, we should have some live stacking at the halving party because that's coming up. We got the halving party coming up in El Salvador 2024. So make sure everyone is there, and maybe we'll do a little live Stackchain competition then and there in El Salvador, Bitcoin country. That'd be a ton of fun. So, and remember, what you see here, what you hear here, when you leave here, don't just let it stay here. Please share, like, and subscribe. And as for Bitcoiners Guide, episode 32 from Anthony, Plan Marcus, and Big Sean Harris, over and out. Peace.
Peace.